And with Talent Talk, we don't have there are no filters, there are no scripts. It's literally a real one-on-one conversation with professionals who decide to share valuable insight. And happy holidays, guys. It's the season. And yeah, while we're trying to have the whole Xmas season and merry everywhere, a lot of us are also sitting down and thinking, what's going to be my New Year's resolution? What do I want to do differently? How do I want to see myself next year? A lot of us are already planning on, okay, I want to transition into tech, I want to do this and that. So today is an amazing opportunity for you enthusiast with me. She is uh, a cybersecurity analyst. She is a community manager. She is also a founder, right? And no other better person can make us have this conversation. Somebody who is going to literally share the pros and cons of how you can transition into tech, without facing the hurdles they really face, right? So here we are not gatekeeping. So if you're ready, like I'm ready, make welcome Gladys Luke, cybersecurity analyst. Yes. You're welcome, Gladys. Can we see you on the camera? I'm really excited for this one.
Hi, thank you. And it's nice to meet you. And I'm so happy to be part of this. Thank you. And please excuse me for my background. I'm at home, so a lot of children are making noise. Thank you for having
It's all
me.
right. It's all right. The most important thing is having a wonderful conversation. So happy holidays. I'm surprised you're dressed in red and I'm having a red lipstick. So what are we? It's in the Christmas season.
I promise you it's not planned. In fact, I just had to throw something on to attend to this meeting. So it's not planned, but I'm happy that we are matching.
Okay. I mean, Maria Carey says it's time. So yes, it's time. But hey, it's time for one-on-one conversation. You want to transition into tech? It's time for us to talk about that. So right. Yes. So Gladys, while I was going through your bio, I really had a better understanding of the fact that you literally didn't just transition into tech. You started from being a web developer and you are
Mhm.
now a cybersecurity analyst. So, what was your story like? How did all of this start?
Recently I was asked how did I come into tech? And I think for the longest time, I have never really thought about how I came into tech. I just found myself in tech. So when that person actually asked me, how did I come into tech? I thought about it for a minute. And then I replied to the person, I told the person, um, depression made me come into tech. So I'm going to explain. I came into tech like in the lowest parts of my life. I was not in a very good place, but yet I was able to gather myself and go into tech. And a lot of people who are like tech enthusiasts these days, they actually know one or two things about tech, or maybe one or two things about um one thing in tech. But when I came into tech, I promise you, I don't know anything about tech. I know technology. I'm using technology. In fact, I own a laptop at that time, but I was using my laptop for, documents keeping and all of that. But I didn't know that it is even tech. I didn't know that what I was doing, keeping documents, using a laptop, using a phone, I didn't know that it was like part of tech. Okay. So I I got curious about tech from my former place of work. At the time, I was doing 9 to 5, and that was the first time I was meeting a graphics designer one on one. So I was so curious. Okay, what is this you're doing? Can I see and all of that? And the person was like, I'm a graphics designer and all of that. I was like, I want to learn. And then I started doing graphics design, not into it, but I got curious about graphics design. And my curiosity led me to other profession in tech. Okay. So I started researching and researching about other profession in tech. I learned about the web development. I was like, okay, I like this, but let me explore other areas to see if there's something I'm going to like more than that. So I was like researching and exploring, and then I found out that I fell in love with web development. So I first things first, I knew that I wasn't going to learn web development on my own. So I started researching for schools that would take me to learn coding at the time. But it was very expensive, right? And don't forget that I mentioned that I was at the lowest points of my life at the time. So it was very expensive. A lot of people were calling like millions for me to learn how to code. So I I spoke to a friend of mine. I was like, see you, I have interest in this. He was like, say no more. I have somebody that is very good at this. Let me connect the both of you. So the person sent me his friend's number, and then I reached out to his friend, and his friend was like, oh, he will be happy to mentor me. So mentoring for me at the time, I was thinking maybe it's going to be like hold my hands, teach me how to code, do these, just explain ABCs to me. So I thought that that was how mentoring was supposed to be for me. I didn't know that, okay, this person is going to just explain the basics for me and leave me to figure the rest out myself. It's not like he's disappearing or anything. He's there, but he's not holding my hands to teach me how to code, to do this. He's just like, okay, he will send me a course outline and be like, go learn about this, go read about this, go do this, go do that. So I found it difficult, but I was still pushing and pushing. And actually, I came to appreciate his style of mentorship, okay? Because mentors are in our lives not because they are teachers. And they are not like primary school teachers that you have to hold the marker and teach you one by one. They just guide you. They will stand behind you and guide you. They'll be like, okay, follow this road, you follow that. At that time, you'll be frustrated. You'll be like, come and hold my hand. Let's follow the road together now. But I came to appreciate his style of mentoring. It was good. And that was in 2021. So in 2021, I did like a lot of things by myself. So when I got to 2022, early 2022, I resigned from my job. And that's one huge sacrifice I had to do for tech. I had to do that huge sacrifice for tech. So I resigned from my 9 to 5 because I needed to focus on tech. But at the time, I had I had established a business that will sustain me while I pursue my dreams in tech. So I resigned, and then I started tech. I was learning on my own in my house, and any place I was confused, I was reaching out to my mentor and all of that. And then I applied for an internship program. So the internship program came with like with an enticing perk. It's coming with a laptop and all of that. So I forgot to mention that when I started learning how to tech, before I got my laptop was bad at the time. I was using my phone to code. It was very difficult to use your phone to code, but I was actually using my phone to code. In fact, my first boot camp that I ever did was with She Code Africa. I from the beginning of the boot camp to the end, I used my phone to code. And I graduated from that boot camp as the best graduating student of that boot camp, just coding with my phone. So after that, my mentor introduced this internship program that was supposed to come with laptop and like that. So I searched them on Twitter, and I found out that it's a very big deal. I don't know if anybody heard about Dev Career. Dev Career was a very big deal. Like millions of people used to apply for the internship, and they just choose how many, 30 people or so. I'm not sure, but we're just like they just pick very few people. And I was like, let me apply. At least I don't have anything to lose, because a lot of people that were applying for that internship program were people that already like they're already about tech, they're already doing things, they're already building softwares there. They were doing amazing in tech. So at some point, imposter syndrome was like entering. I was like, oh gosh, these people that are applying for this thing, they know a lot. Me that is just like taking baby steps in tech. Why will I apply for this internship program? But then I was like, I pushed myself. I was like, see, let me apply for this internship program. I have nothing to lose. If they don't pick me, fine. That is fine. If they pick me, that is okay. So I applied for the internship program. When I applied for the internship program, it has stages. All right. We have stages. So the first stage I scaled through and I was like, okay, maybe there's something good in what we are about to do. Okay. So and now the second stage, I scaled through the second stage, all right. And then I was like, okay, this thing is getting interesting. And then they announced to us that the third stage is going to be a lot of, or yeah, like it's going to be tough, and they're going to drop like a lot of people. They are going to drop a lot of people in that stage. So I was like, okay, maybe this is my time to be dropped. But I was still there. And then we wrote a written test. Okay, we wrote a written test, and then I passed. And then I was like, what is happening? And then we now got to the final stage, which was supposed to be the interview stage, and it was physical. And for me, I have like phobia with interviews. I was like, okay, if at all they are going to even have any stage like the interview stage, it should be um like virtual interviews. At least, some virtual interviews, they used to pity some people and be like, okay, you can put off your camera. And then, the phobia is not going to be as high as the one that you have to sit and face it. So I have like phobias for interview. But then I braced myself up. I was like, what are the odds? Let me go and do my interview. And then they were around, they came from Lagos to Abuja, and then I attended the interview. And then a few weeks later, I got to know that I got into the internship. And that was like one of my biggest achievements in tech, that like one of my earliest biggest achievements in tech. I did that internship for like 3 months. I got my laptop, they gave me a laptop and all of that. So after then, that was like that internship actually create a path for me in my tech career, in my tech journey. So yeah. So about transitioning from web development to cybersecurity. It was this year. I was doing web development. In fact, after web development, I took a course. I went back, took a course, and then I started doing web development and mobile development. And I was enjoying it too. All right. So this year, I now decided to transition into cybersecurity. And here is my reason. When I got curious about tech, when I first got curious about tech, I was very curious about cybersecurity. So I now reached out to somebody. I was like, I don't have a background in tech. I don't have a background, like my major in school was not anything tech related. So I was like, can I do cybersecurity? He was like, no, you cannot do cybersecurity unless you go back to school for it and all of that. So I was like, me, I'm not ready to go back to school. So I'm looking for something that I can do without going back to school. That was why I did web development. So after well, this year I found out that I can actually do cybersecurity without having to go back to school. So I reached out to my classmate in secondary school who studied computer science in school. So immediately after school, she started cybersecurity and she had like a lot of work experience in cybersecurity. So I reached out to her. I was like, hey, can you mentor me? She was like, with all pleasure. And that was how she started mentoring me in cybersecurity, sending me resources. And I got like certifications in cybersecurity and like that. But then my transitioning into cybersecurity was not like, okay, I want to get a job. No, 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 no. I want to use it to get a job now. Now, I have a plan to go back to school, and cybersecurity is something that I would love to study in school. So I want to have some sort of experience with cybersecurity, have certifications and all of that. Just some sort of supporting documents as to when I will go back and apply for school. So while that was going well, I got a friend. I have a friend who also wants to transition from web development to cybersecurity. And she was like, hey, how did you get a mentor? And then I was like, oh, my mentor is my friend from secondary school. She has like a lot of experience in cybersecurity. And then she was like, it's so hard for her to find a mentor. All right. She was like, she has looked for a mentor in cybersecurity and it was so difficult for her to get a mentor. And then I was like, okay, wait, let me talk to my friend and ask her if she'll be able to mentor you. So I reached out to my friend. My friend was like, oh no, she cannot afford to mentor more than one person. Then I now reached out back to my friend and I told her, see, this is not going to work. And then it now occurred to me, I was like, is it that hard to find mentors in cybersecurity? Because me, it took me like this to get a mentor. Like anywhere I turn, like I know somebody that is doing cybersecurity. Like I was like, is that hard? She said it's hard though. That she can like it's been a long time she's been looking for a mentor in cybersecurity. Then this idea came to me. I was like, okay, there's a problem. Some people cannot find mentors in cybersecurity. Why don't I create a community for women where mentees will easily have access to mentors? All right. So I spoke to my friend who is running his masters in the UK. So I was like, see, this is my plan. He was like, oh yeah, it's a very good plan. Please, he was like, I have friends that are doing cybersecurity here in the UK, and I have spoken. He said he's going to speak with them at that time, but later he has spoken to them, and they're like, good. If when I'm ready, they are willing to mentor people in cybersecurity. So it's going to be like a win-win for both parties, right? For the mentees, they are getting somebody to guide them, to mentor them into the world of cybersecurity. For the mentors, it is going to be like something that will be added to their own portfolio. All right. So it's like a win-win for both parties. And that is how I came up with the idea to create a community for women in Africa, for women in cybersecurity in Africa. So we are starting with Nigeria for now, but it's little by little we're going to conquer the whole of Africa. So yeah, that is my story on how I came into tech and started with web development, transitioned to cybersecurity, and founded a community in cybersecurity.
Wow, that was such a ride. It was taking me everywhere. You talked about the hurdles, you talked about how you turned, depression, which is, something that it's literally supposed to bring one down, but you turned it into something positive. And that's one of the things I look out for in people, when you could actually turn uh, an ugly situation into something beautiful. And then coding with a phone, I'm surprised, because I know that there are certain courses you want to even apply for online, and then they tell you the first criteria is you need to have a laptop. And you
Mhm.
were coding with a phone even before you got into internship. That is really amazing. How do you position yourself, or what will you tell people that really want to transition into tech, how to position to get global roles?
Okay, the thing is keep working, all right? Just keep working. You may not see results as soon as possible. You may not see results as soon as like if I for the longest time you may not see results. Don't give up, because you may think that people are not watching you, okay? They are watching you. And I used to tell people we are in a digitalized area, unlike before, that there are no social media, we don't even have LinkedIn and all of that. People struggle to even get opportunities. But now we are in a digitalized era where you can keep doing the thing you're doing and keep documenting what you're doing on social media. I am not a social media person, but I feel like there are a lot of opportunities. In fact, being on social media does not necessarily mean for you to be a content creator. You can, if for example, if you're into web development, you can just, document what you're doing on social media. Keep documenting. You don't know who is watching you. They may not have an opportunity for you at the time, but they are watching you, they are looking at you, they are studying you, they have kept you in their memory. They are waiting for the right time where they'll be like, hey, please, we have a position for you, can we have this thing? And also network with people. You meet somebody, hey, hello, my name is this, I do this. Don't be shy about what you do. Don't be shy about how long you've been doing it for. When you attend events, say for example like tech events, meet people, network people, go out of your comfort zone to meet people. Trust me, they may not have them, you may not need them at that time, but in the future, when you least expected, you will need them and they will be there to, help you. So document, network, and keep working. That is how to position yourself for success in tech. And I'm going to say this, that um most of the jobs I have done were through networking. I hardly apply for work. I hardly do that because I feel like my CV is going to get lost in applications. So I hardly do that. In fact, I don't even get the chance to apply for a job because I'm just working. If I'm tired of this work and I'm resigning, I know I have another one waiting because I have a lot of network. The network I build for myself through every tech event I go to, and introduce myself. Hey, exchange numbers. You may not be chatting with somebody every day, but when you need a person, you can actually reach out. And when the person needs you, that person will actually reach out. So how to position yourself in tech for success is to keep working, network, and what's the other third point I mentioned? Just document your stuff, and then people will find you.
Amazing. This is, I really, I would say I concur with the, documenting of your
Mhm,
process. Because I think most of
mhm,
the time the opportunities we get in this digitalized age now, there's really no barrier to whatever you can do as long as you are showing up and you're
mhm,
putting in the work. And this is something you have done and it's yielding results. I mean, this is the
mhm,
first time I'm going to hear somebody say, I didn't apply for jobs. I just
mhm.
get jobs through referrals. I mean, that's like the biggest flex anyone can ever talk about, right? You don't apply for jobs, jobs just come to you. But then remember, we have put in the work and you're documenting your process, and people literally know what you're doing. They're watching you. Like I will always say, somebody in the room is watching what you are doing. And whether you
Yeah.
like it or not, as long as you're ready, when the
Mhm.
opportunity comes and you decide to throw it out there, of course you will be picked. Now, what are the pros and cons of transitioning into tech? Or let's narrow it down to cybersecurity, because I know we actually have the pros and cons that people don't talk about. But remember, this is talent talk, we're not gatekeeping, so let's hear you.
Okay, so I'm not going to talk about cybersecurity, the pros and cons of transitioning into cybersecurity alone. I am going to talk about it on a wider range, like the pros and cons of transitioning into cybersecurity, and transitioning into tech. Let me start with the Nigerian factor. A lot of people will be like, the thing that actually attracts a lot of people into tech is the money. They'll be like, oh, I want to come into tech and apply for a dollar paying job so that I can start receiving salaries in dollars and all of that. But a lot of people don't know the struggles that people in tech have to go through to be able to achieve that. Okay. So before I came into tech, I thought it was that simple to come into tech, learn my skill, and then start applying for a job. That Nigerian factor is very real. When you apply for international jobs and they see that in the description of the job, you will see, okay, it's a remote job, they accept applications worldwide and all of that, but they don't accept applications from Nigeria. Nigeria is already carrying, I'm sorry to say, but Nigeria is already carrying a bad name abroad. It is carrying a bad name abroad due to some bad eggs that we have in the country. Okay, so it's already carrying a bad name abroad. So if they see your location to be Nigeria, they will not even go through your CV. That is the thing. So a lot of people who have gone, who have gotten like dollar paying job. I'm not saying it's not possible, it's possible, but a lot of people will have to do things like changing their VPN or traveling abroad. They'll have to travel abroad to get an address abroad, okay, and get a phone number abroad. They'll have to travel, get a phone number abroad, get an address abroad, then come back to Nigeria and start applying for jobs using that phone number and an address, and of course changing their VPN so that it's not be carrying the location of Nigeria. So a lot of people actually go through that to get dollar paying job. Okay. But say you now that don't have money to travel abroad or do that, you have to sit and keep applying. and keep documenting and just, be praying and hoping that one day a foreign recruiter will pick you and, give you a job. So that is like one of the cons of work of tech in Nigeria. Another one is, in fact, we discussed this recently with my friends. Tech in Nigeria does not pay. It does not pay. Somebody once interviewed me and was offering me 20K for me to do a front end development job. I was like, why are you offering me that kind of money? He was like, we are a startup. With time, we'll be able to increase your salary and all of that. It does not pay in Nigeria. Only few God-fearing startups actually pay you what they don't even pay you what you're worth, but let's say manageable. All right. So they don't pay well. And I'm still making research to see what is the cause of that. I don't know. I feel like our government, Nigeria, they invest more on bringing people into tech, on boot camps, on fellowships, just to bring young people into tech. I feel like they put their resources more into that than actually funding the people that are already in tech. All right. There's no funding. And because of lack of funding, people don't have money to pay people in tech. All right. So I feel like that is another thing that's one of the cons. But the pros of one of the pro in tech is, if you're in tech, you can actually, if you're not in tech for the money, you're there to build your skill, grow, because of course the world is, going digital and all of that. You're there to grow and all of that. You have, plans to, okay, you have like a bigger plan for yourself. I feel like you're going to excel not only locally but globally. And I feel like tech skill is what everybody should have. Everybody should have a tech skill, because now is like AI now is coming to take over. So if you don't have, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, all right, because AI is here to take your job. So what value can you bring? What value can you offer? And a lot of value in the next, say, 5 years now is going to be almost 100% digitalized. Okay, so you cannot come with your manpower and say, okay, oh, this is my value. AI is already doing your own value. So I feel like tech skills is what everybody should have. And in the future, and the future I'm talking about is 5 years, only people with that skill will be able to excel.
Okay, some of you are trying to, make us have this fear. I don't think AI is going to take my job as a host, though. I don't think so. I don't believe in that. You want to talk? Come, let's talk. You can talk. Come, let's talk. So AI is not coming to take my job. Well, I know that's what's really happening, and I actually really concur with you when you say everyone needs to have a tech skill. No matter how little it is, even if it's AI prompting engineering, something, do something. But what are some of the courses you think that we can actually learn that are not, code related? I know of project management, but aside project management, what other courses do you think we can leverage into?
There are a lot of no code professions in tech. You mentioned project management, but even with project management, I feel like if you're a project management in a tech company, you need to have like small knowledge of coding, all right, so that you will know, you have an idea what your developers are building, the kind of software they are building. So for project managers in the normal corporate world, it's okay to not have a coding skill. But if you're a project manager in a tech company, you should have a knowledge of, coding and all of that. So yeah, project management can go. It's a no code skill. Another one is community management. It's what I do also, and because I love community building, and it's part of what I do, is like my second job. I do love that a lot. So Yeah, there is community management. You know what you're doing is also tech, Abby. You also mentioned that you don't think AI will take your job as a host. Let me correct you. You're doing your job now. You're hosting this virtual event here. Do you know if you don't have the tech skill to operate the Google Meet that we're actually using for this meeting, you will lose your job. All right, you will lose your job if AI, if we have an AI that can just organize everything, and then we'll just have a meeting. Do you think, I think now we have note taker, we have a note taker on Google Meet and all of that. It's an AI tool. Okay, unlike before, one person will be on the meeting taking notes and all of that. So yeah, I'm sorry I digress. So there are a lot of no code skills in tech. So if you want to go into that, maybe after this meeting, you can send me a DM, or you can actually make a research on your own. That's fine. So yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to make a research, so we don't search for the wrong thing, right? So you are a professional in this field, and we believe when you listed out for us, and I mean, you have a community coming up, which is a cyber hub,
Mhm.
or and we could actually know that we are coming to meet Gladys Luke to be a mentor to us mentees, and take and probably yes, well, we're all going to be happy in the end. And I remember you made mention of people going into tech to make money, and I've been wanting to ask, apparently it is not a get rich scheme, because few years back we kept talking about, or we kept hearing everywhere about tech, and then you land this role, you're making so much XYZ amount of dollars or money, and then you're gonna be a big girl, big boy, and you are breaking or telling us that this is a myth and it's not true. Yes, the money is there, but we have a whole lot to do.
Mhm.
So, guys, if you're on this call, getting into tech is not a get rich scheme. It's not Ponzi. It's not Ponzi. You have to literally do the work and before you start to see results. And then worst
Mhm.
of all, you're in Nigeria.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not trying to say Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is a good country. I love my country a lot.
Mhm.
But she talked about changing VPNs. I mean, when I heard that, I was shocked as this is not the first time I'm hearing about
Mhm.
it and locations and every other thing. But yeah, the last question I'm going to be asking you is, what advice do you have for people who are, upcoming, that wants to really go into tech and be happy and make a name for themselves?
Okay, I think I had mentioned that in one of the questions you asked me. So the advice I will give anybody, and myself, if I were to go back and start tech all over again, is be patient. All right. I feel like a lot of people, when they start tech today, they won't start making dollars tomorrow. So I'll just be like, be patient. And even if you go on YouTube, right? On YouTube, you see a web development. You just see a video on YouTube saying um um how to become a web developer in 2 weeks, which is like impossible. You cannot be a web, coming from like a novice cannot be a web developer in 2 weeks. That is like something they want to use to catch you to watch their videos. Do you understand? So for me, I would advise anyone coming to tech to be patient, and when your patience is going to pay off. And I feel the reason why we have quack coders today is because they are not patient. They just want to, do one course and start building. And then when you go through their code, you have headache. You will be like, you'll be struggling to understand their code. The page is crashing every day because they write very dirty code. Sorry for my language. But if you're coming into tech, be patient. And trust me, it is going to pay off. It is going, when you're patient with yourself, taking things one step at a time, building and documenting what you're doing, it is going to pay off, definitely pay off one day. Because there is nobody who has the digital skills that does not pay off one day.
Mhm.
It does definitely pay off. But one thing you need to learn is the art of patience, and the art of building, and the art of of documenting. So with that, you're going to excel in tech. So that is the advice I'm going to give to anybody who wants to come into tech.
Patience, guys. Patience, guys. I mean, there's this adage that says the patient dog eats the father's bone, right? So yes, you have to be patient. And I think most of those YouTube guys are just for clickbait, like you said, and traffic. Because there's certain things you just look at and they're telling you in 2 weeks, in 7 days, in 14 days. And is it that easy? And then when you click and it just keeps going on, and you're not really getting anything, especially when you are new into this. So, guys, I know we're here, and if you have questions for Gladys, you can actually unmute yourself and ask the question. This is an opportunity for you to ask the right question. So, we're here for you. And if you don't, we can forge ahead. So, guys, you have questions for Gladys? You can unmute your mic or type in the message box while I read it out. I mean, that's what I'm here for, anyways. Okay, someone raised his hand. Okay, unmute yourself and ask the question, please, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Hi, and thank you for having me. I have a quick question for Gladys.
All right,
I don't know if can you hear me clearly?
we can hear you. Go ahead, please. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult will she say cybersecurity is? Because I'm new to tech, and I know a lot of people are like they make cybersecurity sound so scary. Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you, Anthony. I like that question. Yes, let's hear you, Gladys, please.
Okay. I don't think, okay, I am not going to stay here and say cybersecurity is hard or it's not hard or anything like that. I'm not going to say that. And because I feel like I'm going to grade cybersecurity the same grade I'm going to give web development, and the same grade I'm going to give like any other profession in tech. And that is because it depends on the way you approach it. All right. There's a way I will approach cybersecurity and it's going to be hard for me. And there's a way another person is going to approach cybersecurity and it's going to be easy for the person. So I feel like it depends on the approach you're giving to cybersecurity, okay, and any other profession in tech. So it's the approach that matters. When you take things step by step, don't rush into it. Don't go just like the way I said in the beginning. Don't rush into it. Take your time. Read, document, just be patient and you're going to see that it is easy. So for me, with the approach that I took in coming into cybersecurity, it is easy for me so far. It's been easy, and that is why we've come up with the community HerCyberHub to help other people who don't have the right roadmap into cybersecurity, like who are just learning things and trying to gather as information as they would want to, as much information that they want. So I feel like it is the reason why we're starting our cyber hub to guide young girls to the right roadmap into cybersecurity. So for me, cybersecurity has been an easy ride so far.
Okay, Anthony, she says it was an easy ride, but I don't know if it's an easy ride because I know I tried cybersecurity one certain time, and when I saw the resources, I just said, you know what, now my job is my mic. I love the mic, so yeah, no one are doing cybersecurity. There's someone else that asked the question, and he says, how do I transition into web development?
Okay, so to answer that question, I'm going to give you what works for me. So first things first, get a mentor. I am going to say that first things first, get a mentor. Get a mentor to guide you into web development. And then secondly, make your research to find out what programming language is easy for you, what's not easy, but what programming language you understand better. So for me, I went to the JavaScript route. So for you, you may want to go to Python and other programming language. So but first things first, I would say for you to break into web development, you should get yourself a mentor, somebody who can coach you into web development.
Okay, so Franklin, if you had that, get a mentor. And on behalf of the Hailerz community, I want to ask, are you open to mentoring the Hailerz community, those who are interested in going into either web development, because I know you're well grounded in the area, and cybersecurity. So are you open into mentorship or yes?
Okay, so
Now this is
right.
strictly for Hailerz. So if you're not part of the Hailerz family, sorry.
Okay, so if you need a mentor, if anybody here in the Hailers community wants a mentor, please, that person should meet Anthony. Anthony is on this meeting. The person should meet Anthony. He is that my friend I told you that is in the UK. He's also part of her CyberHub community. So anybody wants a mentor, he's a very, very good person in web development. He is very good. So if you need a mentor, you meet. So to answer your question, at this point, I'm sorry I cannot mentor anybody because I have a lot on my hands. But if you need a mentor, reach out to me. I am going to merge you with mentors. Okay, I have mentors. I'm going to merge you with a mentor to mentor you in whatever whatever thing you want to do in tech. I'm going to merge you with a mentor. But for me, I am indisposable at this point.
Okay. It's amazing that Anthony asked a question and he just blew his trumpet, and then Gladys let the cat out of the bag and say, "Oh, Anthony is the guy you should meet." So everybody, hello Anthony, how are you doing? Yeah, so he's fun. Okay. Okay, so Franklin, if you're here, I think you can literally send me a DM on Instagram. Anthony, I would love to also connect with you. Hailerz would also love to connect with you because Hailerz run a residency program where we have um, not tutors, right? Tutors that are willing to teach and also give knowledge out there, and then it will be really amazing for you to be part of the Hailerz residency program. And thank you for really joining this call. So Sam, if you can hear me, we got a big fish. Yeah. So Anthony, it will be nice to come, teach us about web development, and we have somebody here, Franklin, who also wants to, learn web development. And for Gladys also, we could incorporate cybersecurity, at least for beginners, like the beginners course for the Hailerz residents. It's really going to be amazing. And I would love to be in class with my notepad. I have my notepad right here. Right, Hailerz? I got my notepad. Okay, so Anthony, how do I get to meet you? How do I get to connect with you on social media? I think you can pass the message across to Gladys, and then I will reach out to her, and I will send you a message on Instagram, and we can take it up from there. Are we good, Anthony? I know we'll blow your cover, but I've been really sorry. I mean, it's the holidays, right? So you should be excited like I am.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Gladys is my boss, so you can always reach out to me through her. That's fine.
Okay,
And
I really like the way you are just shifting. Okay, it's Gladys. No, it's Anthony. It's all right. We could actually do a dance that Gladys. Anthony,
Oh, nice
Gladys,
one.
Gladys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect team, as you can see. The synergy is there, and she's just an amazing person. I mean, she said a lot of nice things. I really enjoyed the session, and yeah.
Yes, that's what we do on Hailerz. I introduced us earlier. I said this it's non-scripted. There's no filter. We're just having genuine one-on-one conversations. Yeah, that really are going to enlighten the community and everybody who cares to listen to us. And this is a value we're giving out for free, right? So yes, we have one more last task for you, Gladys, and which is a ritual here at Hailerz. You're literally gonna greet us. We were done with all of the whole seriousness and then the tech and then the coding and then the
I hear
debugging
you.
and everything. So this is how you hail us, right? With your hands up, two hands up in the air, and you just tell us, I hello. And no codes. We're not gonna be coding here with the okay, semicolon, dash, asterisk. We're not doing that. Just hail us, I hello, and we're good to go. So
Okay,
yeah.
are we ready? Are we
Oh
ready?
yes, we're ready.
I don't know if you can see my hands, but they are up. I hello.
Give it up for Gladys. I hello. Can AI actually scream like me? I don't think so. Yes. I hello. All right. Thank you all, guys. Thank you everybody for joining. This is Talent Talk with Everything and an initiative of Hailerz Global. And Hailerz is literally, a hub that harnesses talent all over the globe. We have the Hailerz residency, we have the $10 Tuesday where talents come to perform for a minute and then they get picked and then gifted a $10. We also have the Hailerz challenges, which is literally ongoing. And then, of course, Talent Talk with what we're doing here today. So it's really amazing having everybody here on Talent Talk. And yes, congratulations to Talent Talk because this is the second to the last episode we have for the year. Oh, clacking. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. From me and the entire crew, it's bye-bye. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.